Hello, my most amazing artist. So today we are going to start a new project and we're going to kind of do a little bit more with our colors and our color wheel. We didn't really get to spend a lot of time on this before we ended up going on quarantine, NTI, and then we came back and we've been doing other little projects. In our last project we talked about warm and cool colors, and we've talked about primary and secondary colors. So now I want to show you how to put that all together by making a color wheel. But we're not just going to make a boring color wheel. We're going to make a rainy day umbrella color wheel. And there will be some splashing involved, and it's going to be super fun. So what you need for this project is you need a piece of white drawing paper. We're using 10 by 14 class because it fits on our desks really well. You can use 9 by 12 or whatever you have at home. You'll need a pencil with an eraser. You'll need your Sharpie. You need some sort of straight line that's about 5 to 6 inches long to help us guide for our umbrella, and you'll need some crayons. While we might not get to the crayons today, we will need crayons for this project. And the very last thing we're going to do after all that is you'll need to use some blue watercolor paint and a straw. But we won't need that today, but see if you can start finding a straw. All right, so in class, we always write our name in the corner with KB or KA, and then we flip it over, but you're at home, so you don't have to. I'm just mentioning that so next year if you're back with us, you know where to put your name. It's always small in the corner, and then we flip it over and do something else. So your straight edge, you want to know your different directions. We need to go vertical, horizontal, and diagonal. We talked about that at the beginning of the year. If you don't have a popsicle stick, you could use like a card you have, something that you can just use for a straight line. Even a ruler, but sometimes rulers make little kids nervous, so we're not going to measure anything. So try to find the middle of your paper at the top. Have your straight tracer going vertical, and then take 2 fingers and bring it down, maybe even 3 because your fingers are long, and just hold it straight, and as best you can in the center, draw a straight line. So you're just making that straight line going through. If it's a little off center, that's okay. We're not worried about that. Umbrellas can be kind of crazy in the wind. So now I'm going to take my straight edge, and I'm going to line it up in the middle, and I'm going to create like a plus sign. So now we're going horizontal. So I'm going to hold my straight edge, and I'm going to draw a horizontal line bisecting or cutting through that vertical line. So now I have a cross or like a plus sign. And it's okay if it's a little taller on one side than the other. We're not going for perfect. We're just trying to get to break up for our color wheel. Now we can take our straight edge and make it go on a diagonal line. And I'm going to line up my edge so it looks like it's right on top of the center. See if I'm close to middle. And then I'm going to trace a diagonal line. Now mine didn't hit the center perfect, and that's okay. There's no contest for being perfect, and some of the pieces are going to be bigger and some are going to be smaller. That's okay. I just want you guys to learn how to kind of divide things up a little bit. So now we're going to switch to the other side and draw one more diagonal line. So when we're done, it kind of looks like a star or an asterisk, but we want to turn this into an umbrella. So how we turn this into an umbrella is we add little smiles between every point. So I'm going to, let me zoom in for you, if I can. There you go. So I'm going to go from this point to this point. I'm just going to make a little smile. And I'm going to turn my paper. And I'm going to keep making little smiles between each one. So when we're done, it kind of looks like a spider web without the spider, but it gives us that shape of an umbrella. And we could make this umbrella round, but that seems a little harder sometimes for my kindergarten friends. We all know how to make little smiles. And now your umbrella might look different than mine depending on how big or small your smiles are. All right? So there's our umbrella. It's a little wonky at the top, but maybe it's a windy day. So we're going to have it like a little person standing under the umbrella being protected by the rain. So we need to find these bottom 2. And about halfway through, I'm going to put a little dot here. You probably can't see it. And I'm going to put a little dot right here. And those are my guidelines. So what I want to do is I want to go from this dot down to however big I want my person to be and draw a vertical straight line. So if you just hold your pencil still and pull straight, it goes pretty straight. But it's windy day, so if your line's a little wobbly, that's absolutely fine. So I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna pull my line down. I'm gonna have my person be kind of tall, and my line's coming in a little bit, and that's okay. Now this dot, we're gonna draw a diagonal line. So we're gonna go out here, like the wind is blowing our jacket off to the side. So I'm gonna take this line, and I'm gonna go diagonal down until it's about lined up with that one down here. And then I'm gonna connect the two lines. And if one line is bigger, that's okay. So I made an interesting slanted shape, okay? Now I'm gonna add one more diagonal line. I'm gonna give about a finger's width between this line and that line if you're drawing big enough. And I'm gonna draw one more diagonal line coming up there. And then I'm gonna add a few circles for the buttons of my jacket. You can decide how many buttons your jacket has. You can have 3, you can have 4, you can have a lot, it's up to you. They can be big buttons or small buttons. So now we need to add legs. So we have an umbrella, we have a person under the umbrella. My jacket might be a little big for the umbrella, but that's okay. If you think your person's a little too big, you can always erase one of these lines and make it a little smaller. I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna draw, so about middle, I'm gonna draw a vertical line, and these are your legs. So you decide how long your coat is, and then right under my buttons, I'm gonna draw another vertical line. I kind of want them to match. And I'm gonna draw a third one going in the middle. So like you're standing with your legs together. Now I'm gonna decide how big I want my boots to be. Do I want my legs to be really long, or do I want to start drawing my boots here? It's up to you. Now a boot is just like a letter C over, so I drew a letter C here, and then I'm going to do a backward C, or like when you're doing a letter B. So I'm going to draw another one here, and then I'm going to kind of draw across. So what I can do is then put 2 in there. That's one way to do it, and I feel like that's the easiest way to draw the feet. And I want to draw my boots, nice tall rain boots. I'm going to draw a line going across here. So my person's kind of standing with their feet out like this. If you don't like that look, we can do it this way. Sometimes that's easier, even though our person's facing this way, sometimes it's easier to have our feet out. So we drew our vertical lines. In the top state. So instead of going out this way, this goes all the way to the bottom. And then we do another C coming here. So then it looks like our feet are going this way. So those are the 2 different ways. So you can just make this line go straight down and do 2 C's here, and they overlap. So it looks like you're facing this way. And you can decide whichever way you think looks best or what's easier for you. So this is our person, and our person is done. We are going to now, in class, we might not have time to start coloring, but I want you to outline this with your Sharpie. So you don't need to watch me outline, but just go over all your pencil lines really carefully to make everything stand out. If there's something that you don't like, this is where you can fix it before you outline it. If you don't cover your pencils that great with your Sharpie, that's okay. We'll just erase any pencil that didn't get Sharpied outlined. So you know how to outline. We've been outlining all year, so I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me outline everything. So I don't know if we're going to get in class as far as I think we will. I would love to say we could start coloring, but I don't know. I think we're going to be drawing and then outlining. So I'm going to have you stop because I'd rather you be a wee bit behind us than too far ahead of us in class. So outline your whole umbrella and your person. Be careful with those buttons so you don't close them up. Unless you want your buttons black, and then go ahead and outline all your stuff. Now, you might be thinking, Mrs. Cole, my person's kind of floating in the air. That's a little strange, but that's okay. We're gonna do something with this later, because if you're out in the rain, you're probably wanting to jump in puddles. So I'm gonna show you how we're gonna make it look like we're jumping in puddles at the bottom of my paper. So So hopefully your person takes up the majority of your paper. See, my person is like right in the middle. I have room at the top, bottom, I have room at the top, and we're all set. So once it's all outlined and you're ready to color, stop for this week. Go ahead and take a picture and then upload it to our classroom, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye, my most amazing artist.